The Modern Warfare Zombies Tombstone duplication glitch is still working in 2025, and with the recent resurgence in popularity, I figured why not show you guys how to do them. Which then on that note, there are currently 2 ways to Tombstone in this game. So first off, let's cover the easier one. Alright, so for the first method, you will need to use an Aether bike key, which then the next step, of course, is to make sure that you have Tombstone either from the Tombstone perk machine, or from the Wonder Fizz in the middle, or by heading to G8 and using anything that you can zoom in with, and then just zooming in on the purple Mr. Peaks bunny up in this tower, which after a few seconds of staring at will give you a free Tombstone perk. Now, of course, after you have your Tombstone, you just want to get all of the items and or money that you want to duplicate or keep in your stash, and then you just want to hop back on your bike and make your way to the very top right hand corner of the map to I-1. Now, once you get up here, you want to bring your bike all the way to the edge of the beach as you see me doing in the video, which is essentially as close to the border as you can get. And then once you get here, you want to hop off your bike just for a split second and then go ahead and hop back on, and what this is going to do is sort of like save your location, which I will explain more in a bit. Once you are back on that bike, you want to of course drive straight ahead into the water, which don't worry, this bike does literally drive on water. And then all you want to do at this point is follow the path that you see me taking, and you want to take it all the way up until you reach the red zone, specifically in F3. Now, keep in mind that while you are following this path, you want to make sure that you try and stay as far away from either side of the embankment as you can. The reason for this, as I said before, is because this bike sort of like saves the last location that it was on land. So if you get too close, or worse, even touch ground anywhere else, it's going to mess this up and you will need to go back. However, once you do get to F3, you want to carefully walk the bike up the bank as you see me doing, and you want to stop it on the little flat section as you see me doing in the video. Which then once you have it there, you just simply hop off, run up the hill, and you want to quickly activate the portal that is up here before turning around and running back to that bike. Now, the second that you get back to the bike, you want to carefully just back it back up into the water, and then all you do is double tap your interact button to get off, and then immediately right back on the bike again. Which then, if you've done this correctly, you should now be teleported all the way back to that section that I had you set before. Which, unfortunately, if you teleported somewhere else, you probably touched land or got too close to it somewhere else. However, at this point, you just want to hop off the bike, and then you want to stand on the other edge of this large flat rock, which essentially is like perfectly illustrating where the border is. And then once you are standing here, you just want to open up your map and vote yes, which is going to bring up a 10-second countdown. At this point, you want to keep very close attention to that 10-second countdown, and when it reaches 6 seconds, you want to hop over that borderline. Which then, to follow this, once you see the red screen, and then following that will be a black screen, is when you want to force close your game. If, however, you instead went over that line at 7 seconds, well, you will run the risk of setting your Tombstone, but you're probably going to lose all of the items you have on you at this time. Which alternatively, if you go over at 5 seconds, you then run the risk of losing your Tombstone, but you will keep the stuff you have on you. However, if you've done this correctly, what's going to happen is you're going to force close your game, and then when you launch it back up, you should notice that in the menu you have all of your stuff just waiting to be used. So then what you do now is just load back into the game, and you can literally just use all of this stuff, and then you should also now have a duplicate set waiting for you in your Tombstone. Which then, of course, you just want to rinse and repeat, and you have an unlimited supply of these items. Now, that is it for the easier method, but this one technically takes a little bit longer as you actually have to drive around. So then on that note, let's go ahead and talk about the other method, which is faster but does take a slight bit of timing. However, for this one, of course, just get yourself Tombstone, and then this time you want to head over to this building in F6, which then once you get here, you just simply head inside and up the stairs, and you should see some runes start to appear on the wall in front of you. Now, at this point, what you need to do is shoot these very specific 3 runes that I have on the screen now below, and you need to make sure that you shoot them in this specific order. Which technically, there are other rune combinations and other portal locations that you can use, but this one that I'm about to bring you to is absolutely the easiest one to use. However, once you have those 3 symbols input correctly, you want to now activate the portal, but immediately hop over the ledge. You do not want to get stuck and pulled into this portal by being too close to it. However, at this point, you want to turn around and continue running all the way through multiple doors until you get out to where the bad signal portal is. Which then, once you reach bad signal, all you want to do is activate it and then turn around and immediately run all the way back. Which then, if you don't see bad signal, you either have to equip the mission because you probably haven't done it yet, or just better yet, go and finish the mission and it will show up forever. However, once you get back to that first portal with the runes, you just simply want to step inside, and then as soon as you land in the farmlands, you want to immediately turn right and head through the open gate. Now, at this point, you need to be very careful and pay attention to the timer, and that's because at 3 seconds is when you want to stop and open up your map and then vote yes. Now, for me, I usually do this when I reach this small spot of grass that is directly out of the gate, and then once you have voted yes, you will then see, of course, that same 10-second timer, and once again, just keep running forward with the goal of being over the edge at at 6 seconds, which again is why this area is my favorite, because if you do this correctly, the timing here literally is perfect and you can auto run through this. However, that is basically all you need to know on the 2 current best ways to tombstone in Modern Warfare Zombies in 2025, which, keep in mind, these literally will never be patched, so just have fun. But on that note, if this video helped you out, please help me out with a like and a share, then drop a comment and let me know if this is either your first time playing Modern Warfare Zombies or if you're returning.